Welcome to the Destiny Nerds podcast. This is episode 35. I am Bearded Luke, and you might notice a difference if you're watching this live. If you are listening, you probably can't tell. But we have only one person to whatever side of me. I don't know what side he's on. But we're missing Maddox because he's on vacation. So I hope you're having an amazing vacation, Maddox. I love you. And Havoc is also still on his break, but Havoc will be coming back. We'll let you know when soon. But I'm pumped because one of my best friends, not kidding, haven't met him IRL, but I count him as an IRL best friend. Soon. But also best friend in the internet. This is AkiandPeach. Welcome.
Thank you so very, 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 very much.
You're amazing. I'm so excited to have you. This is such an incredible streamer. He is a variety streamer that has a very huge passion for Destiny. Is probably like my best.
I love Destiny. I really do.
But I'm excited because we're going to talk tonight together. It's going to be a little bit of a different podcast. It's just the two of us. We haven't actually done a podcast where it's just me interviewing a guest. And he's a really integral part of the community in Destiny because he's so positive and happy and just like encouraging, which is something that we really need in video games because that's, what makes them continue to be fun rather than, not fun.
Toxic,
which we might talk about. Yeah, we'll talk about some toxic stuff later pertaining to Trials, which this weekend has been a nightmare.
Ooh.
But first, I really want to talk to you about you because I'm really interested in your story and who you are. I was honored to be on your podcast, actually.
Aki and Friends.
Yeah. And that was super fun. We talked for like 2 hours, right?
Dude, it was easy. Honestly, we've had some really great guests on Aki and Friends, but sometimes it takes effort to generate conversation. And my interview with you, like the time was over like that. Like it just, I don't know. It was crazy how quickly it went by. And so I'm excited. It's interesting to be on the other side of the mic for once. Put it that way.
I have a feeling it's going to be that way again this evening. Also, this man has one of the most intensely thick mustaches in America. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. Also, is that your wedding ring? Like, are you just trying to be trendy and put a ring on your one finger?
It's 100% my. I fidget with it. Is my problem.
I saw it on this finger. I'm like, you trying to?
I have ADHD, and so I constantly I'm like pulling it off and messing with it. Yeah.
It's trendy.
Yeah, check me out, man. This is me. I'm married. Like, it doesn't even fit.
But dude, so let's talk about you. Let's talk about where it starts with video games first, because you have I feel like way more intense background in video games than me, because we come from two different kinds of backgrounds, but maybe not. You love a variety of games. Like every time I see you stream and you're playing something and you're just as passionate about it as you are with any game I watch. But I just love it's really interesting to me because I've always kind of just been like stuck to specific games. But whenever I watch you stream, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's playing like this Nintendo game that I have no clue what it is, but seems like it's really fun. And so tell me like your past, like where did gaming start for you?
Gaming started in I'm going to date myself here, but the early 90s on a 386 PC, to give you an idea. So before there were Pentiums, before there were Core i9, i7, all that stuff, there was 386 and there was 486, and then there were Pentium processors. So we're talking like way back, and even 286s, but I started on a 386. Anyway, so hi Maddox, I love you. The very first game I ever played was called Commander Keen. And it was done by a small indie company you might have heard of called id Software, who went on to do big things like Doom and Quake and big things, right? Things. So, but their very first things that they ever went and did was they used to work for a company called Softdisk, and then on their own they started a project called Dangerous Dave in Copyright Infringement, which was basically Mario in DOS, which is a really old PC operating system, right? So anyway, so they went that, and they actually went to Nintendo and said, hey, look, we can emulate Mario and put it on the computer for you. And Nintendo was like, we have no interest in that. So they went on and they decided to make their own game called Commander Keen. And they split off from Softdisk and worked with Apogee Software, which turned into 3D Realms, who also did like Duke Nukem and other things. But we didn't have any game consoles in my house. when I was a kid. So I started playing Commander Keen, Major Striker, obviously the original Doom, Wolfenstein, all those back in the day. Loved flight simulators big time when I was a kid. Played like F-117A Nighthawk and F-15 Strike Eagle. And these were games that came on like floppy disks. So like we're going way back. So yeah, you got to think about that. I still have a case of floppy disks somewhere in my garage.
You actually used floppy disks for something? Like
I
that's how you
used to,
played
yes.
games?
Yeah. I used to actually like
That's legit.
that got me into like my current, like I used to love messing with computers and like editing boot config files to adjust like memory usage and all that stuff. For certain games you had to do that back in the day. Like you had to go in and edit the autoexec.bat to say, hey, this amount of memory has to be available for applications to use basically and all that stuff. So that's actually what got me in love and with computers and working with computers, which is what I do for my day job. But my neighbor across the street, he had a Sega Genesis, so that's where I got exposure to games like Sonic the Hedgehog, where I got nightmares from the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 underwater music when it would play, because it would just generate panic every time, and all of the old awesome games. You got an N64 after that, played a lot of GoldenEye and Mortal Kombat and other fun games. So just played tons of games growing up. The very first console I ever purchased was actually a PS2. Which sounds weird because it's like you skip so many console generations, because I played on PC a lot. So
yeah, you were playing on PC before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. I was playing on PC when like you had to wear like bigger glasses than this to play on PC. Like, but no, we had a really great time playing games when I was a kid, and I remember really digging Halo. I was never an Xbox guy, but I played a lot of Halo with friends, and I borrowed a friend's Xbox so I could play Halo 1 and Halo 2. And at that point, for some reason, I don't remember, was Halo 3, was that an Xbox 360 thing?
Halo 3 was Xbox 360, I believe. Yeah. I think Halo
so
1 and 2
I never
were
had
Xbox.
access to a 360. Yeah. So I didn't get to play Halo 3 or any of the other ones, but then I saw this new game that Bungie was doing called Destiny. I was like, oh sweet, this is great. They're gonna bring it to PC, right? They didn't.
Nope, not for a long time.
They didn't. And don't get me wrong, I love my consoles. I don't love playing shooters on consoles. I like playing platformers and other things with my controller, and I like playing games that don't cause me. I like using my mouse as like an extension of my hand for me.
Yeah.
Because I grew up playing first-person shooters on PC.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to translate that back to a controller. I don't know, for some reason I just never made the leap. So
dude, that makes sense. That's literally the opposite of me. Like I grew up playing FPSs with a controller, so I don't want to switch to a mouse and keyboard. Yeah. I've never heard the other side. That's
again, that's where, and PC gaming was a minority for a very, very, very long time, and it still kind of is. I think PC gamers are more common these days than ever before, but a lot of that is just accessibility. I think has gotten a lot better, especially when it comes to being able to stream games over the cloud and things like that. It's a lot easier for people with lower, more entry level PCs to be able to hop on services like GeForce Now or Stadia and fire up a game and play it than it was previous generations. So.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. So you came back. So that's what I mean. I knew you came from
Dude, I mean, it's like all the way through, and especially just to touch back again on Halo, I will never forget. I loved Breaking Benjamin, like back when I played like Halo and all that. And Breaking Benjamin wrote like one of the songs that was in, I think, the second to last mission or something. It was called Blow Me Away. And I've had the privilege of seeing them twice before COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was, dude, they played that song in concert still, and it's so good. It's really great.
That's amazing. Man.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming like how long, you don't have to tell me numbers, but like how long have you been playing games, do you think? Like half your life, your whole life, quarters of your life, 75%?
More than half my life. I would say 3/4. Oh, I mean, geez, I've been playing games for probably almost 30 years.
That's amazing. That's how old I am. So my whole life.
I've been playing games since you were in diapers.
Literally. That's amazing.
Oh, man.
Bro, that's sick.
That's
so
funny.
The cool part about I met Aki through a raid when I was playing, not playing a raid, but I was streaming on Twitch, and Susie, who is another amazing streamer,
Susie Live.
Yeah, Susie Live raided me one night. First, I thought Susie was a girl. I thought it was Susie. You know, like I probably should just not assume that. I don't know why I did.
I'm bad about assuming genders too, so don't feel
I
too
was
bad.
like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" or
Woo.
"Dudette," and I remember him saying in chat like, "Dudette, yeah, I'm Dudette." He thought it was hilarious, and then we
Oh
just got
man,
along. But you came in on that, and then for whatever
I
reason
did,
stuck
and I
around.
stuck around. I don't even remember why. I was just like, I like this dude. I
I
don't know
remember
why.
too
I
because
just
we were like, "Wait, when was that?" No, he's rated me a couple times. One of them, like, he rated me when I was doing the 6-person, or it was supposed to be a 3-person activity, one of the seasonal things, but it turned into like a 6-person one somehow. If you like all
mm,
went into the lobby, or 9-person one, it was a nightmare. But dude, I'm super pumped that you stuck around,
yeah,
because
man.
yeah. So, but I want to get into like you have a little bit of a different outlook on streaming, and I know this is a Destiny podcast, so if you're listening and you want Destiny, I know that you think this is interesting because
We're gonna get there.
you people still keep coming back to listen to the beginnings of these, so I think that it's interesting. Because Destiny this weekend was not interesting, so we'll get to that soon. But
Anyway.
you take a little bit of a different spin on content creation, because a lot of what you're doing is like you do family friendly only, but a lot of your stuff's faith based off of you being a Christian, which is really cool. Which some
Sure.
people can relate to, some people can't. I can relate to it. I work at a church, so that's probably
Yeah.
why we connected so well at first. But tell me about like what you do for content. I want to know about. I actually get to that inside of this question. This is a double question.
Okay.
I want to know your like what brought you to start streaming. It's been what, 2 years or 1 year, 1.5 years.
We're a little over year and 7 months now.
Cool.
Is where
So
we're at.
what brought you to want to start streaming, and then tell me about like why you did it the way you did it. Like you've
Sure.
got a really interactive chat. You've got like, I want to know about. I'm gonna ask later. I want to know about like the Stream Raiders thing. Like there's like a bunch of stuff that you do.
Sure.
So tell me what brought you to wanting to do that.
So it all started, and I've been around in and around Twitch for a while. Actually, like my account used to be called a couple different things, and I used to stream just for a buddy of mine who was in college and like needed a distraction, and so I would stream my games that we were playing like to this dude, and we used to call it Pants TV, and I joke about it with him all the time. I'm like, man, you watched me before, like I actually got serious about it, kind of thing. But anyway, so I read a Kotaku article. This is 2.5 years ago now, or something like that. It was a while ago, about an online church for gamers called God Squad Church, and this guy named Susie Live, and I was just like, huh, let me go check it out, right? So I clicked on it in on his stream, and I hung out for a while. And he was actually playing Rainbow Six Siege at the time, and I was like, I love Siege. This is another game that I play, and was hop in and play some games, and like stuck around and hung out and got to know him, and just kind of sat there and like started checking out a couple of different Twitch streamers and stuff. And I used to work in radio, way back in the day, previous life, and I know that in life there's just a lot of different challenges and things, and I kind of saw Twitch and like different communities and things all coming together, and people, ministering in their ways to their communities. And I kind of set out not necessarily to be a Christian streamer, but to be a light on this platform, right?
Yeah.
To bring hope to people, because life is really tough. Life is really dark. I had a lot of difficulties growing up. I was bullied often in high school, and lots of difficult things that I didn't necessarily want to open up to my parents about. But I felt like if I could create a community where people felt safe about being able to share the things that they struggle with and deal with, to create a place where people can feel safe and at home, kind of a home away from home. That would be something that would be valuable. And also, because I'm older, I have 2 kids, I wanted it to be something where people could come with their families and feel comfortable, having my stream on while their kids are in the room, right? So that was a big priority for me. So that's kind of how the whole thing got started. And I wanted to do something with my daughter Peach. She was 9 when we started, is going to be 11 soon, which is
Wow.
crazy. But the whole vision was, we're going to start, kind of doing side by side gaming, playing single player content, and just being silly and interacting with the chat and everything. And then eventually we want it to evolve. We're playing multiplayer games such as Destiny 2, for example, or other things, and keeping that family focus and that family approach while still having a lot of fun.
That's awesome. You do that. You literally do that. And It's cool because it's like a way, a lot of people these days, or I guess any days, think of like you want a Christian stream or whatever. I'm not saying you have a Christian stream, but like you say you think of like a family friendly streamer that's open about their faith and they're
Yeah.
talking. Uh, Usually it's like, oh man, I'm not gonna be welcomed there kind of thing. I'm not gonna go do that, or they're gonna judge me kind of thing. It's literally the opposite for you, and I feel I can see that in your chat whenever people are in there and talking.
I do my
opening up.
best and I preach all the time that, we are, no matter what your background or belief is, you are welcome amongst the warriors of light. Like we want to welcome people with open arms and hear their stories and share ours, and just, that whole do life together thing. And, faith is my a natural extension of me. Like, it's part of who I am. So that obviously naturally comes out in conversations, but, really, really thankful for the people that we've met and the friends that we've made along the way.
Yeah.
So I will say that, when I found Susie and when I found Twitch, like had just come through a really rough patch in life, and my wife and I have had like all sorts of crazy stories, and we can relate to so many people. And so we want to use our story to benefit others and try to help other people through tough circumstances. My wife, we talk about it regularly on stream, struggles with some mental health issues, anxiety and depression and things. And, praise the Lord, she's found medication that helps her get through that and deal with that and be able to function as a normal human being. But there's, that we try to break down those stigmas around, seeing a doctor, getting medicated. Faith can't fix 100% of your issues.
Yeah.
We live in a fallen world, what I believe personally, right? So there are things that the Lord has provided us in order to live the best life that we can until we get to heaven. So
Heck yeah, dude.
yeah.
Sweet. Well, I'm in love with it. I think it's awesome. Now, let me ask, whenever it comes to like, you like keep your chat really interactive. You have like a really unique like point system that like I actually go into when I'm not streaming. Like when you're not streaming and I put exclamation point points, I don't even know what I'm doing it for, but I just like to check how high up I am in the leaderboards.
It's because we give away one of these mystery blocks every single stream.
Every
Every single
stream?
Aki After Dark stream. Yeah, every single Aki After Dark stream. So there's a variety of prizes in those blocks.
That's amazing.
And we just kind of tie it back into, we want to reinvest in the community that invests in us,
Yeah.
right? So we, you can pick the game I play for an hour, which got won this past week, and that's why we played Knockout City on Monday, which is a hilarious game, by the way. We had a really good time with it. There's gift cards in there, there's gifted subs, and people can use those however they want to. Like, it's not like a gifted sub to our channel. If you want, you can use that sub other places. We can sub to you, like however you want to use it. Like, we give people the flexibility to do what they want with it.
Yeah.
It's just our way of saying, hey, thanks for hanging out with us.
Dude, that's awesome. I think that's such a cool, like, when it comes to streaming these days, it's not as easy as just like clicking a button and then like having someone watch you play a game. Like,
It's not.
the success that I've seen you like have over the past year that I've known you or so, it's like 100% attributed to like the fact that you're unique when it comes to like the way that you interact with your viewers, as well as the way that you like incentivize them to want to actually like hang out with y'all. And but then at the same time, I'm in your Discord and see like the people talking and the community like swelling into something. Like, I don't know. I think we talk all the time about this stuff. Like, we play Destiny together and it's fun. And this podcast is about Destiny. I promise we're going to talk about it. But I'm just saying, for anyone that's listening to this, that's like wants to be encouraged on how to be a great streamer, you need to go watch Aki. This dude is incredible. I tell him it all the time. I'm always like, yo, dude, I swear.
Thank you, man.
You are going to succeed. Like, I don't even care. Like, partner is a cool thing that's going to happen for you. But that's just like, it's like right here compared to like, I think where you guys can, push things. But
thank you, man. I appreciate
also,
you saying that.
Stream Raiders, you're partnered with them, right? Is that what it's called?
I am partnered with Stream Raiders. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, actually,
I don't like. I
So
see
it's
it. I don't know how that works.
it's just a little mini game that we play with chat. So if you go to streamraiders.com, it just literally will pop up. It's just a little game that pops up, and you can play it in your web browser. You can play it on your mobile device. And it was in beta when I first found it. I don't even remember which streamer it was. Couple streamers that I watched at the time were trying it, were playing it, and I was like, hey, we'll give it a shot. So it was at that point you had to apply to join. You had to have like a minimum viewership and all that stuff. I don't know if those requirements are there anymore or not, but we got accepted into their program, and we ended up getting affiliate with them, and then just recently made partner with them and everything too. So it's been really really neat. it's just kind of a cool way for us to work together as a community. Every 30 minutes we run a battle. You get to see who's placed units, and if we win, then hooray. If we lose, then oh well, we try again, kind of thing. But
That's
it's
pretty
just
cool.
it's a nice way to kind of break up the monotony of just, if you're just sitting there. We play a lot of single player games, right? So if you're just sitting there playing a single player game, it's like, oh, let's take a quick break here and let's do a Stream Raiders battle.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah.
Dude, that's cool. Well, thank you. That seems. I'm trying to think if I missed anything in there. Like, I'm just a a big fan of watching you on Twitch. I don't know what
Thanks,
else to
man.
say. I just think it's cool to have you on this podcast and just to kind of like get you in front of, like, not that we have this crazy audience that listens to this, but like
You
getting
got
you.
some really cool people in here, and you guys
We
have had some
do.
really awesome guests.
We've had amazing guests, and you're like in like a diamond in the rough of community streamers, content creators inside of Destiny, because you're very like I don't know. You're just like, when it comes to Destiny, you're usually like, I'm happy about this thing. It could be the worst thing. Like, I'm sure when we talk about trials sucking, you're gonna find a super good reason for why it didn't suck, which is very good because that makes life a little bit easier whenever it comes to this game. But so with your Destiny journey, let's get into that. I know we kind of talked about it, but like, tell me where that started. Like, have you been here since alpha or?
Destiny 2 beta for sure.
Okay.
I was in the beta of Destiny 2. Like the second I heard Destiny was coming to PC, I was like, okay, I don't know a ton about the lore of Destiny 1, but I'm jumping in head first into this game, Destiny 2. I was like, this is so cool. I was like, I don't know who this speaker guy is. Who's this speaker dude? I was like, why is the light? What is happening? What are we doing?
It had to
Why
be
are
so
we doing it?
confusing.
This is so cool. I had no idea who any of the people were when we jumped in. All I know is I love Nathan Fillion and I would have his babies. So I was sold. But anyway, I loved it. Like a buddy of mine, his name's Gray Bandit. I play with him all the time. We've been playing since like the very, very early days of Destiny, and my whole friend group got into it at first, and we had a great time with it. And then the first expansion dropped, which was Curse of Osiris, and it was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
It just was kind of lacking in content for what a full-fledged expansion, you kind of feel should be. And then the Warmind expansion dropped, and it was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from this game for a little while because it's just, I've run out of things to do, basically, is what it boiled down to.
Yeah.
And then Forsaken dropped, and I was like, oh man, this game's good again. Let's get back into it. Like, but then they killed Cade, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
I was mad, but it's okay. Anyway, so it's still too soon. We made a joke about that today. I was running Vault of Glass with some friends, and I was just like, it's still too soon. We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
So
Too
yeah.
soon. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool. So you haven't played any, like, have you ever like bought D1 and like tried to play it?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh.
If they ever for some reason brought it to PC, I would 100% dive in and head first and just go all the way through it. Like,
Bro, just play it on your
Bungie,
PS5.
if you're listening, if for some reason you ever bring Destiny 1 to PC, even if the multiplayer, whatever, I don't care. I would experience all of the single player content you want to throw out there. So,
Bro, I know you
Just
would.
saying.
I would too. Like, I would replay all of it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, I'm only asking that
we could
because
replay it together. It'd be great.
the like golden age of this game was the Taken King. I believe, and I feel like most people would say
That's what I hear
that is
everybody
true.
say. The Taken King was like the best expansion ever in all of
It
Destiny.
was, and I think that Witch Queen, which we'll talk about later, is going to be in that same realm, but it's still not gonna. I don't think anything's gonna feel like that because this is just like, oh, it's the Witch Queen. It's just it's the Taken
We've been
King
building
too.
to this moment for a long time,
Yeah.
right? Like Savathun's song was a vanilla Destiny 2 strike. Like Savathun has been, obviously she was in D1 too, but I'm just saying, like in the Destiny 2 universe, they've been building to this for years, literally.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So you have definitely dipped your toes in lots of Destiny. Do you like? What's your favorite? Like, what do you call yourself? Are you PvE, PvP, in between?
PvE for sure.
Okay.
I like PvP. I'm not a sweat. I'm a little old, right? So I'm 37, full disclosure.
You're not old.
My reaction times and my competitiveness are not what they used to be. I still love PvP, don't get me wrong. I love diving into trials. I love diving into Iron Banner. I mean, I love clutching it up. I get hype. I get excited about those moments. But PvE, I feel like I have a solid grasp on mechanics and understanding. I love the Sherpa folks. I love to carry folks through content. I like to do solo challenges and things. Working towards my first solo flawless prophecy in the background. I haven't really talked too much about that yet, so that's coming. But
Yes.
yeah,
That's awesome, dude.
somebody messed with my lights.
Someone messed at your lights. They did just change colors in the background, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they did. It's funny.
Are those
Anyway.
Philips Hue lights, or are they? What do you use?
Those are Hue light strips. Yeah, those are Hue light
nice.
strips.
I
They're
have,
controlled through Lumia Stream, which is a great product I love.
dude. I've heard that stuff's awesome. I stopped
It's very
using
good.
Philips Hue stuff because it was, I
It's
don't know.
expensive.
It's expensive, and I've been trying to experiment with things that are like, just like, off-brand.
Sure.
To see if
I
they
think
work
that's
the
great.
same. But heck yeah, dude. And the last thing everyone should know is Aki is partnered with Advanced GG, the best energy drink supplement in the planet. Yeah, we love Advanced GG here on this podcast.
Use code Bearded Luke.
Use code Aki. Use code Maddox.
Use code Maddox. He's not here.
But all right, dude, let's talk about this game. Okay. So we're in like this weird, currently it's 2021 in the month of September. We have Witch Queen coming out in February of 2022. We have another.
If it doesn't get pushed.
If it doesn't get pushed, we have 100-something days left in the season, the longest season in Destiny 2.
It's a great season to hit the pinnacle cap.
Yes. So we are in a spot right now where last week Trials last week they brought Trials back. It was on hiatus for a few weeks, and it was the best Trials ever. Like,
Best weekend of trials ever.
I went
Absolutely.
flawless 3 times in one night. Like, that has not happened for me.
That is
often.
insane, dude.
I
Awesome. Good for you, man.
I got the entire gilded thing ready, all the way done, except for one more Guardian flawless, like in this one weekend, and I barely played because I don't have that much time.
wild.
It's the weekends. I'm filming weddings, and it just was great. It went over amazing. Bungie put out a big post showing like all the charts, and it showed like all the players, and then it showed like last week, and it was like off the charts. It was insane. So it was good. It was a good sign for PvP. Did you have fun last week? I'm assuming you had fun last week.
I had a blast last week. So last week was actually the first week that I went into trials solo, and I actually had a pretty good time playing solo trials.
Yeah.
Obviously last week is the first week you could do that. You couldn't go solo into trials before. You had to have a pre-made fire team. So I went in with matchmaking. I had a pretty good time. Couldn't quite get flawless solo. I got to like 5 or 6 wins, but I couldn't quite finish out a 7-win card. So I actually paired up with 2 of my PvE buddies. We formed a fire team. We fought, and I think we had to reset maybe 2, maybe 3 times, and we ended up going flawless. And it was all 3 of us our first time going to the lighthouse. So
That's amazing.
it was a great time.
It.
Yeah, we had a really good time.
I heard so many stories last weekend about people going flawless for the first time, which is the best feeling. I mean, I'm not like gone crazy amounts. I think I've got like 29 flawlesses.
Sure.
But I remember my first flawless was when the first day they brought Trials of Osiris back to Destiny 2. I almost went flawless in Trials of the 9, but I was not heavy into Destiny at that point. I was like...
Loved Trials of the 9 back in the day. Trials of the 9 was a lot of fun.
Did you go flawless during that, or is this like your first?
I got to 5 wins during Trials of the 9. I didn't have enough PvP friends, so I had to LFG it, and it wasn't good
Same.
enough.
I was LFGing or playing with Dr. Shabby. His internet was so bad once when we were playing that his internet used to be so bad, and during that little section of time, he missed out on like the whole beginning of Destiny 2 because he lived like in the middle of nowhere and didn't have good enough internet. But we would play and we would lose every game because we would win a round, and then his character would freeze, and it would freeze the whole game, and we'd have to leave. And we lose.
Oh no!
But yeah, dude, it was so cool hearing all these stories last weekend. All these people going flawless, they're just killing it. Like, it's what people wanted to see. It was Bungie listening to their community and making changes. Like, they made changes to the loot pool. You could get engrams and focus them on specific loot. It's like all this stuff we've talked about on this podcast, to be honest. And it happened, and it was really fun. And then this week, they put out a tweet. I think it was Cosmo who put out a tweet because someone was questioning like some stuff, and they decided that after you went flawless for the week, you get put in a flawless only pool of players. So not only do it, basically what it means is you go flawless, you're playing the sweatiest teams that are not sweatiest. That shouldn't even be what it's called. You're playing the best teams that have went flawless only.
Here's the thing. Let's be honest. you're playing the sweatiest teams because the average teams, my team, we went flawless. We were done.
Yeah.
Bye. See you later.
Yeah, you're not sticking.
We
You're
had
not
fun in our
going
trials
back.
for the weekend. I'm not going back.
Yeah,
Like,
and
we did our thing. Now we're leaving.
yeah, and this is
So
like
you are playing against the people who love trials, who love PvP, love the high end competitive, really intense PvP experience, and that's great, wonderful. I'm glad you like that.
yes, yeah. So they like this new matchmaking that was implemented means, for instance, if I wanted to, if a bunch of my buddies, so actually this is a good example. Like I don't usually get to play trials on Friday till Friday night, like at like 11 p.m. If a bunch of my friends went that I usually play with, so I have a couple teams I like to try to go flawless with every weekend. They usually get their flawlesses before I play with them. Now, since they went flawless already, it punishes me because we're gonna play, and it's gonna be the World Cup championship of video games trying to go flawless.
I tried playing with a friend of mine, who
Yeah.
went flawless last night. He had already gone flawless. I had not gone flawless, and we were playing together, and we were having a good time. But it was the sweatiest one game. We won one game, and we got into the two game. I mean, it was just the sweatiest, most intense. I've never played at that level. Like I'm just like, I can't do this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love you, but I can't. Woo.
Dude, so this weekend, and I'll explain my experience. My experience first, there's like it.
You had a wonderful experience.
Yeah, the beginning of the weekend I played with my friends. Basically, the reason it was a little tougher for me is because the only thing I wanted to do this weekend was I only had one thing left to gild my title, which I've had the flawless title. I never gilded it, but I went ahead and did all the things last weekend because it was just so fun. And all I had left was I had got one Guardian flawless that hadn't been this season, and then I had to get one more. So that means I had to play with one Guardian who went flawless, and then I wanted to play stacked. Basically, when you do that, you want to play with two players who are good, or three players who are good. You never know. Somebody could just not have went flawless that season, or somebody who has a little bit of experience. But usually want to have two like experienced players because I'm not good enough to be the only person that's good at a match. Like
I don't know, you're pretty good. You had some crack snipes last night.
I was sniping really good last night, but I'm definitely not like Sep or like any of those guys who are like carrying people by themselves. But the problem was I played with my friend DC and I played with my friend Vanta. DC had already went flawless, so our entire card was just like an absolute nightmare because it
that
was
who I was playing with later in the year, by the way. I was playing with DC.
Yeah,
so.
It was matching us with teams who had already went flawless, so it was very good teams. So like, two of us hadn't played
DC,
at all.
But I felt like I was about to have to buy him some ice cream because it was just getting to that zone. I was just like, oh man, I feel bad for you, dude.
We could chat, buy DC some ice cream. He loves it. So
if there's an ice cream company out there that's looking for a streamer to sponsor, by the way, DC's your dude. Like,
yes,
he's the guy.
Definitely. So I was just kind of sad on Friday because it was so unbelievably fun the week before, and it was even fun because you could essentially like play with people that had never went flawless, and it was a lot easier to get flawless. Not easy. It's still like a huge feat.
You still have to really try.
Yeah.
Like, you still have to. You have to be mindful about your engagements, your positioning. Like you have to all of the PvP things. Like, it's still a competitive mode. You still have to play smart.
Exactly. So the first night that sucked, and it was not fun at all, and it made me really sad. And then we played last night. I was playing with actually this is one of the coolest things, which I want to ask you about too, is crossplay is here, so we can play with people on any console, which is sick.
Yes.
Something that
I think it was two Xbox players today. We did Vault of Glass. We cleared Vault of Glass with two Xbox players.
That's so
today,
cool.
That's so awesome, right? Like,
it's what I always thought would never happen when I was a kid, because there was always I lived through the console wars. I like to say, where they all hated each other. And
Xbox is better than PS4.
Like, then we all realized, oh wait, they're all good. Why don't we just let us play on the thing we like, and then we all play together? Someone figured that out, and it's huge. I have a friend who we hadn't played together, but because he was on PS4, but we finally connected and got a chance to play. So we played last night. So it was me and him, and another gamer, and we just were having a nightmare. We're not getting good matchmaking, and it was just rough. There was just because the player pool was going down and down and down because it was not a good weekend because the community's like mad. Like I don't think I know anyone who said that it was a good thing to do this to matchmaking. It just instantly makes it so you cannot.
Absolutely not.
It's not like hurting streamers. It's not doing this. It's literally just hurting you from playing with your friends, which is why they want us to play this game. Or they want us to just get one flawless and be done for the weekend, or get one flawless and then if they are gonna do it this way, like if they're gonna make it so after you go flawless, you have to play in a pool of only flawless players, you better just be getting a pinnacle after every win. You know what I mean? Like something that's like way more rewarding.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I feel like wins 5 through 7 should be pinnacle drops. Like once you're getting to that level, you're against other people who have 5, 6, and 7 wins. Like if you're playing at that level, I mean I don't know. There's a lot of pinnacles in the game already. I shouldn't be griping about that because I'm already almost at pinnacle cap on my Titan. Like it's for what 2-3 weeks into the season,
3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah,
dude, that's sick.
Like I can't complain.
No, yeah, I've not been doing my pinnacles. This is the first week I've done almost all of them. I need to do VOG before Tuesday, so maybe we can do one together.
Yeah, I'd love it. Let's we'll talk about that after the podcast. Let's do it.
So but the cool part about what happened yesterday was we were able to find a fun way to do this. So then a friend of ours named Pork came into the mix, and I think he found a slight like fix for this, is what I'll call it.
Yes, tell me, explain this to me again, because the way that he explained it, I don't know, for some reason it was late at night and my brain was broken and I didn't quite process it. So I'm run this through. What did Pork do? Because it was clearly working.
So what Pork did was he was on a 7-win card that was flawed. So there were 7 wins on it and it was flawed. And he said that, I mean, we are also, me and him were playing very well together, so that did help. But
sure,
it apparently when he was on a 7-win card that was flawed, and he hadn't been flawless this week, it was matching us with other 7-win cards that were just 7-win cards that were flawed, which is just like a bunch of single players, a bunch of solos, a bunch of people that aren't actually trying to go flawless. They're just trying to get engrams. They're just farming loot from, like, because you can get enhancement cores, you can get enhancement cores, you can get
enhancement prisms.
Yeah, prisms. What's the other thing called?
Ascendant shards.
Ascendant shards, and you can get
balls.
Golf balls. Yeah, you can get golf balls. You can get the engrams.
See, I'm a real Destiny nerd, guys. I know what they're called.
You are, exactly. Huge. That's why you're here. And so whenever we switched, we lost 1 game, and then the next card we won 7 games. Didn't have to use our mercy, and we brought my PS4 friend flawless for the first time ever. Like, he's never went flawless in the game.
That's so cool, man. He was so hyped last night too, man.
Yeah, because Aki was there last night. He was in my disc because they were in another call playing Trials, and then they came in to watch us play the flawless game, and we won. And it was just so cool because I got my gilded seal, which is great because you all know I'm a seal boy. I love to get my seals. But also, it was fun. But this is the part where it's a problem. Now, I would love to play some more Trials.
I don't want to play with you. You went flawless.
Yeah, if I want to play Trials right now with Aki, it's going to be very difficult because it's going to be putting us in a pool of flawless gamers. I don't know. I mean, there's probably some sort of good reasoning behind it, maybe, but it literally just tore up the community this weekend. Like, Twitter is angry, Reddit's angry.
Twitter is always angry.
They're always angry.
Let's be honest.
That's true.
I love so many people in the Destiny 2 community. I really, really do. But there's a lot of drama. And it's up to us to be the counter drama, as it were.
Yes, I try to be that way.
Don't get me wrong. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. And I think Bungie is going to learn from this. And I really do think that they're going to tweak it going forward. And I think that things are going to be better next weekend. And I think I'm going to be trying to go back to the Lighthouse next weekend.
Yeah, it's 1,000%. That's the thing where I think everyone, and I'm not in this pool because I have so much faith that this is just a test. This is just an experiment because they're actually experimenting with Trials this season. They're going to do trials labs.
Let's think about it, right? They're preparing for the next big expansion.
Yeah.
Right? So
yes,
everything that they're doing is, okay, let's get some data. We can compare it against this other data so that we can make this next expansion the best it can possibly be.
Yes. And I believe that they are looking. I don't know if there's a new team over there at Bungie or what's going on, but the stuff that they did change in PvP on the first week that is going to slowly, it looks like they can just change stuff weekly, is pretty cool. So they'll probably go into the office tomorrow and be like, all right, put in their documents or whatever they're doing. I don't know. This was not the best of ideas, but
Sure.
really we don't actually know until, because we see the most vocal people because we're hanging out with the content
Actually, it's
creators.
100% true, right? All we see is here's all of the Twitter threads of the people that are arguing and fighting, right? But how many more tens of thousands of players are participating in PvP?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
well,
I'm sure Bungie will look at that data and say how many of these players stayed engaged, how many of these players from last weekend came in and quit, like, you know, all of those things. They'll look at that, they'll analyze that, and they'll tweak things. I'll be
yeah.
interested for the swab.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this swab this week. But I'm pumped because it has people talking. People like Trials was trending again on Twitter. Like it's just like even when stuff stinks, it's cool because there's some sort of reason. And like like it's not going to be like this forever. I just know for a
No,
fact.
absolutely
Like,
not.
hopefully not.
And I think the wonderful thing is it's a really exciting time to be a fan of Destiny because they're doing so many neat things with storytelling, not just this season, but the past couple seasons leading up to this. And I think that the Witch Queen is going to be a really great expansion, not just because of the storytelling changes, but all of this experimentation that they're doing. I really think that it's all going to play into making a really great next year of Destiny.
Heck yeah. Well, that's a good transition. So I'm good. Trials is good. I don't. Do you want to keep talking about Trials? I
No,
mean,
I'm good.
okay.
I've said my piece.
Let's talk about the Witch Queen because that is
Sure.
something that we're going to be talking about for the next 6 months, honestly, as this podcast continues through this giant drought that I can feel coming upon us in Destiny.
The last 3 months are going to be a little rough.
Yeah, it's going to get rough. But
Yeah,
luckily, we have that 30th anniversary coming. But I want to know,
that's right.
what's your initial thoughts? You probably sat down and watched the big reveal a few weeks ago of the Witch Queen.
Oh,
and
man.
For what we know so far. So what did you think? What are you excited about?
Just blew my mind, man. I mean, this whole season has really just been one like what after another. Like it's crazy. I think the biggest thing that kind of blows my mind is what they're looking at the light classes rework that they're talking about doing. And I was talking about it today. I was like, man, imagine, you know, Fists of Havoc. Imagine having 2 grenades and using Thunder Crash instead. You know, and I mean, you can do that obviously with an exotic today on Titan, but you know, you don't have to use an exotic at that point. You can like mix and match your perks, and there's so much flexibility that they have in the stasis class to be able to bring that to your light classes. First of all, you know somebody's going to break it like the first weekend, and something's getting disabled. But it's that just the combos are going to be unreal and insane. I think the possibilities it opens up for both PvE and PvP are just going to be wild. So I'm really excited about that specifically. Has me really, 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 really excited.
Yes. Dude, bro, I can't even, when I like think about it, when I sit and think about Witch Queen and like all the stuff they talked about, because this is just the initial announcement. Like they haven't even went in depth about anything else. There's probably even more that we don't know about.
Absolutely.
I just like sit here like, can it be February yet?
Yeah.
And please, hopefully it doesn't get delayed. And if it does, I hope it's literally just because we need to make sure that the devs are healthy and like they're not overworking. Sure. Because I'm all about real. I'm cool with delays. Like it's just a video game, but I also am like fingers crossed that was enough of a delay to get it to come out in February.
And I think that they've got enough time, but I mean, obviously I'm not a developer. I have no idea what's going on over at Bungie, but the biggest thing I will say about that is developers are humans too, right? Like there's a game that's coming out in the next couple weeks called New World. It's been delayed like 3 or 4 times and people are like upset, well, delay. But it's like, man, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't like working 80-hour weeks. You know, like it's just
me neither.
It sucks. So I mean, when you have other humans that are working on providing entertainment, I try to have a good attitude and be gracious about it, even though it would suck if it got delayed. Don't get me wrong, but that is what it is. But there is so much that is coming in this, and it's just, man, to think about the light being under Savathun's control and like all of the things that are happening. It's just, oh my gosh, I can't even begin to consider all of the possibilities. Like my mind explodes a little bit every time. It's crazy.
It's crazy the things that might be coming. Are you So there was also the 30th anniversary stuff talked about then too. Does that
Hmm.
hype you up a little bit, or like what is that like from a non-Destiny 1 player perspective?
It definitely hypes me up. I'm really interested to see what they end up doing with it. So I used to watch back in the day, Red versus Blue. Remember that? It was a
Uh,
Rooster Teeth, little silly kind of web series, and somebody's messing with my lights again. Anyway,
it's getting pretty crazy
it was
back
it was
there.
it was amazing, and so it was this whole series where it was set in the Halo universe,
Hmm.
but they had a section of one of the seasons, I don't remember what it was, where they went back to Marathon, which was Bungie's, like, they made games for the Mac, by the way. Um,
If only they
so
did that still.
I know, right? But it was crazy watching some of that. So I think that they said they're going to bring some of that potentially back for the 30th anniversary, which would be. I would love to play through. I never played the marathon games. I would love to play those games because I think that they're really neat.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm really interested to see what they tie into Destiny 2. If there's, do you think there's going to be any PVE themed content? Probably not any PvP themed content, but
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, the main thing is the new dungeon that's coming that
Mhm.
rewards you the Galahorn. But the best part is, and you've heard about the loot cave, right? Like,
yeah, the loot cave was legendary. Like,
yeah.
I heard about it even though I didn't play Destiny 1. Like, it was just
So
it was big.
it's like a meme now, but it's hilarious that they went even they're just like taking that and they're going with it and they're making that the dungeon. The dungeon is the loot cave. Like going to loot cave, that's where the dungeon starts. And
That's amazing.
I'm ready for nostalgia. I think that it's going to be a lot bigger of a thing that the community think it's like the thing that they didn't know they needed. I think that's what's going to happen, and it's going to have like I didn't play Halo. I'm gonna admit it. I only played like
Sure.
a couple times with my friends, but like I didn't really get
It has
into
an
it.
amazing story.
Yeah,
Amazing story.
I
Really
want
good.
to one day, like when I
Good
have
novels too,
good
by the way.
novels. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about legitimately in January or sometime if I ever have free time again. I want to stream
We'll just
myself.
do it when this season eventually runs into its
That's what I
content drought,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, just do a single player playthrough. The Master Chief Collection is great. It's on Steam.
That's what I want to
There is a
do.
novel called The Fall of Reach, and I actually read the novel before they ever made a game about Reach, and it talks about like Master Chief's origin story and all that stuff, and it was amazing. It's one of my favorite books, actually. It was really, really well written. And so like the lore and the whole mythology in the Halo universe is fascinating, and Bungie has taken that obviously to the next level with Destiny.
Hmm. So I think that there's gonna be potentially like just nostalgia heaven during that. I mean, there's weapon 1,000 yard stairs from Destiny 1. That was like my favorite sniper. Ice
I heard
Luna's
about
coming
that gun
back.
too, actually.
The
Yeah.
thorn themed armor sets just they look amazing. It's gonna be like I think they did that on purpose because they knew like we cannot leave them with nothing for the next 6 months straight.
No,
Like they can't have
absolutely.
nothing. So the best thing that they typically go to when it comes to nothing is nostalgia, because as mad as like
It
two,
works. It
yeah, it
works.
works. As mad as two or three of us are about it, I'm never mad about it. I'm like, give me all the nostalgia. I do not care, especially if it's.
I am an old gamer. I love nostalgia.
I'll take anything. Although I'd be really pumped if there was an Animal Crossing crossover somehow in Destiny 2.
This isn't Doom, man. Isabella and the Doom Slayer.
Yeah.
That's the crossover that we all need, right?
Um, so, dude, I'm pumped about it. Are you planning to like stream the heck out of it or play the heck out of it or like what are you gonna do during that time? Because I know you. What's your like? When do you play Destiny now compared to when you play other stuff?
I play, honestly, like I play Destinies every Thursday night. Like Thursday nights are Destiny nights. We do usually Vault of Glass runs or other runs. Like this past Thursday, we did Deepstone Crypt into Vault of Glass, and
Mm-hmm.
both runs went really, really well. So we've got a good, solid like core carry team for PvE content, which I'm really thankful for. We've got a couple of them are in your chat right now. Really, really good people that help newer Guardians kind of go through that content without having to worry about a ton. Obviously, we explain the mechanics and stuff, but it's more of a you get to kill ads while watch us do the things and maybe
Yeah.
occasionally help us with stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm really excited about the Witch Queen specifically. I 100% plan on working on forming a day one whatever the next raid team
Yeah.
is. I did a day one Vault of Glass team, and it was one of my favorite experiences in Destiny so far. We didn't get a clear in. We got stuck on Atheon, but we got close. So that felt really good. We obviously cleared it after contest mode was off. But
Yeah.
it was actually a really easy clear after contest mode was off.
Oh, that's how it always is. It's
Man.
always like the easiest. It's actually kind of, that's the one thing since I've done two. I've competed in two world first. One was Garden, and the other one
Sure.
DSC. I don't want to talk about DSC, but the thing
Anyway.
the thing that they do to you is they make raids feel easier than they need to be because they are so difficult on contest mode day. Then the next day it's like
big facts.
It's like a joke how easy it is the next day.
Oh man, like even today, like, and I know we're not like the super high end sweaty tryhard PvE people, but like we were like working on some things, and it's just one of those. Every raid is like this. Once you gel and things come together, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's easy. Like we almost two-phased Atheon. Like we had him less than half of his HP on just the first phase. Like it's wild and crazy with two brand new Guardians that it was their first time in the encounter. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I think about Atheon on day one and I'm like, man, if only.
If only. Dude, I love it. I can't wait. So this new raid, so I'm taking like probably like February is my off season, so I might like take like a week and a half off when this comes out, if I'm being honest with you.
That's legit, man.
Like having Dr. Shabby come, he usually comes over during release weeks and we play. He brings his PC here and we play together.
That's awesome, dude.
We're probably going to do that, but like this raid is supposed to be inside of a darkness ship.
Which is like, what?
Yeah, do you think
we've only been in it once in Shadowkeep,
I
right?
know.
Like we didn't go in and did we go in and beyond? We did go in and beyond light a little bit.
Yeah,
not like
a little bit. But nothing crazy. And I so desperately hope that whatever that race is, that the darkness is, whatever they are, whatever the name is, they haven't officially said that it's, what was everybody call it? They call them the, I can't remember what it's called. There's like a name everybody calls them. I so desperately want that to be inside of it, but I'm afraid it's probably just going to be like a hive, like a guardian hive infested version of it. The veil, yeah, that's what everybody calls them. I don't know if that's what it actually is.
It's been a lot. It's funny that you say that because a friend of mine, when I was really getting hardcore back into Destiny, he was like, "Man, it's been so long since Bungie's," because he was a D1 player. He's like, "Man, I wish there'd be a new race." We got the Scorn in Forsaken, right? But it's been
like
a while.
A thrift shop version of the Fallen, though.
Basically, yes. They are. I mean, they are Elixir, right? That are just a little bit more corrupted.
Yeah. So, what do you think is going to be in there? Like, do you think that it's going to be Savathun? Like, because Savathun has to get this light from, or she's using the light, or she's using the darkness, right?
No, she's definitely using the light. I mean, there's ghosts, right? So it's.
So I'm wondering if she got light. I don't know where she gets the light from. I can't wait for the story, bro, because I have so many questions. They're probably not going to answer any of them, but I'm so excited. What do you think we're going to fight inside that ship for the raid? Do you have any theories?
Well, I think what was interesting is I think we did get a little preview in Shadowkeep when we were basically talking to a mirror image of ourselves, right? What is darkness but the opposite of light? And so it would be interesting if, and this is just, again, just conjecture and theory, and I have no idea what the current theories are on anything, but if it was even just like a mimic of our own fire team, like with our own abilities and everything that were AI controlled and we were going up against them, kind of thing. I don't know, with some sort of like super powered darkness abilities or something. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I think there's lots of possibilities there. It could be even corrupted. Obviously, we fought that in Shadowkeep, right? Corrupted versions of previous raid bosses and things along those lines. So it'll be interesting.
Bro, what if it's like PvP? Like we're playing against it's not other Guardians that are players, but they're like computer versions that are even like almost as good as, and you have to like headshot them, but then you also have to hit their ghost like with a sniper, like the instant afterwards.
Yeah, they're darkness ghosts or whatever they are. Yeah.
Oh man. Dude, I don't know. I'm pumped. Are you? So you're gonna do a day one team? I'm also gonna try to do that. I'm in the process. I'm trying to find. I mean, I'm trying to get into a couple clans, so I'm hoping by then I'll be in one and we can do it inside those clans. But
absolutely,
day one raids are some of the most fun things. Like that's, even though I failed both of them, the first one was more of just like we didn't even know it. No one really knew each other. It was just kind of like we're doing this, and that was Garden, and that was tough. That was a hard raid. We got to the final boss, and it was just a nightmare. But then
it's an amazing raid. Honestly, I think Garden. followed only by Last Wish. I think is like top tier for like
Oh yeah.
mechanics and difficulty. Last Wish is like at the top of the list, but Garden's right underneath it. Like Garden is definitely, it's a tough raid.
I love Guard. I haven't done it in so long, and
We
I
should
used
run
to
it again.
do.
I got a couple folks that need Divinity. We should run it
We
sometime
should.
soon.
I ran it. I think that's what I've ran probably the most in Destiny 2, because there was like a couple seasons that me and Beast the Sheep just ran the crap out of it constantly. And
Yeah.
then the next season with DSC, it was my team. So the thing is, my team got the day first clear, like by an hour, but I had to go work at the church, so I left, and like
Yep.
about an hour later they finished it, and I just still give them crap about it
I
to this
remember.
day.
I was there.
It was
Well,
like
I wasn't there.
I
But
streamed for like
I was
18
following
hours.
along.
18 hours for nothing. I guess it was fun though, so I guess that's
Yeah.
that's not the nothing. But heck yeah, dude. Well, I don't other than Witch Queen, the only other thing I want to talk about is how cool, and I want to see if you agree with me on how cool they're like building this real world that's actually changing inside of the season that is leading up to this actual next chapter in Witch Queen. Like, have you felt that? Like, do you do all of like the weekly missions and
Yeah, I've been doing the weeklies. I didn't know about one of the little like compass quests, like you're finding the pieces of the compass or whatever out in the different areas. I didn't know about that right away because I didn't pay attention when I picked up the quest.
yeah?
So I'm like, I'm trying to catch up on that piece, but I've been doing the weekly stories and definitely going to be doing something with Uldren. I don't know what's going on with him,
Yeah,
but
there's something
Savithin's messing
stirring
with
up.
him. Yeah, Savithin's definitely messing with him, and he's obviously fallen for her bait. So great, good job, Uldren, you idiot again.
He just falls for everything. He's
Dude, everything. What is wrong with that guy? He's like a scared little teenager,
Yes.
but he's an adult man. Like, anyway,
Did you
I
get
know
the
everybody
new?
loves Crow, but
Yeah, I don't.
always
I
got to
don't
get some
trust
spine.
him. I don't care. I agree that the story arc was cool with him like changing, and I do believe characters can change, but I still hate him
For
because
sure.
he killed Cade. He killed my
Yep.
favorite character.
He killed Cade.
I don't care if it wasn't
no
his
forgiveness.
brain. No forgiveness.
No forgiveness.
I forgive people in real life, but in video games, no forgiveness.
Digital creature, you don't deserve redemption. Sorry.
Did
You're
you
done.
get so this week the new exotic for the season came out? Ager, I can't remember what it's called, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Did you get
it
it?
was really great in the 100K Nightfall we did earlier today.
Oh heck yeah! So you did get it.
Yeah.
Did you think the quest was fun?
I didn't get it. A fire team member has it, so I didn't.
Oh, you
I
haven't
didn't get
done
a
it
chance
yet.
to finish that yet. No, I'm going to. I've been so focused on chasing like pinnacles and gear and stuff that I haven't had a chance to finish that specific quest yet.
It's
So,
not. I personally think it's the worst quest ever because I hate seasonal activities, and I tell everyone this. I think the seasonal activities are so boring, and the entire gun is basically just doing seasonal activities and then doing 3
Yes.
strikes and then doing this and then back to seasonal activities.
It's funny because as non-MMO as Destiny is, that's about as MMO as it gets because those are basically fetch quests and like that's what you get in every other MMO. So you have to do these things in order to accomplish this.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, okay, great. So
Maybe I
we're
wouldn't
back
like-
to the typical MMO trope.
Oh man, maybe I wouldn't like MMOs as much as I pretend that I might think I would.
That's funny.
I've never played like a real one. I've played this
You
like
should play
hybrid.
Final Fantasy with me. That's all I'll say.
I would
That's my
love
one
to.
plug.
I also want to try New World when it comes out.
New World looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to be streaming it, but I can. There are several amazing folks in the Twitch space that I love that are going to be going very hard in the paint for New World, and I think that definitely has a lot of potential.
Heck yes. Heck yeah, dude. Well, it looks like we're hitting that hour mark. We've talked about a lot of fun stuff, bro.
It was
a great
effortless
time.
again.
Effortless
Absolutely.
again. Like that flew by. Like it's already an hour and
Yeah, I was looking. I was just like, man, I can't believe it's already that time. Dang.
dude, it was fun. The cool part about this version of the stream is if you're listening to this, it won't make any sense. But Aki is going, and I demand that you start your stream up for the evening. So
All right.
So that we can go there after this. But, dude, what are you working on in the future? Shout yourself out. Like, any last remarks about future content or what you're doing, anything?
It's a really exciting time in the AkiandPeach world. This past week was one of our biggest weeks ever in regards to just general like content and people that we have seen come through and everything. We are within reach of making Twitch partner, which I'm really, really thankful for. We're not quite there yet, but we are very much on the path. And like a lot of people will be like, we're partner pushing and path to partner and blah, 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 all this stuff. we're within 10 people, like on the average,
Yep.
to get to where we need to be to have the partner app unlocked. So I don't say that lightly. It is only by the grace of God and by the power of our community that has come together and chosen to support us, and awesome people like you and everybody else that has come alongside of us. We're super thankful for that. So that's the big thing that we're working on is I want to unlock the partner app before the end of 2021 is my big goal. Also, we are doing weekly Final Fantasy 14 content, pushing content for that, because there's also an expansion for Final Fantasy 14 that actually drops in November. So it'll be here before, it'll be kind of my stopgap before we get to Witch Queen. Obviously, that'll kind of carry us through until we get to that point. But we've got a great Final Fantasy 14 community, and our Destiny 2 community is also awesome. So those are the two big things that we're really working on. We also just love to welcome families in and play with the community. And I play with, like I said, I play with my daughter on stream, and we love to get to know new folks and build relationships with people. And we believe strongly that a community that rallies together is stronger through the ebbs and flows of life.
It's amazing.
So, yeah.
I respect it. I admire it.
Appreciate you,
I
brother.
want to be like it. I appreciate you, bro. You're awesome.
Man, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much for having me on. It was really an honor and a pleasure, and just absolutely my privilege to be here and hang out. We love you guys.
Dude, I'm so thankful.
You and Maddox and Havoc and everybody, the whole group.
Dude, we're glad that we got to have you on. I know the guys were super sad they couldn't be here, but I'm glad I got you all to myself. Dude, you will be, the next time you're on this podcast, you will be a Twitch partner, guaranteed. I say this to this guy often. Like, he probably is annoyed by how much I say it, but like, he is going to be partnered, and it's cool because, and I just keep bragging about you. I'm sorry if it's making you uncomfortable, but the idea of what you're doing with it, like, you're not just like, all right, I'm at the point where I need to get the last 10. Let's just push so hard, and like you get like that temporary like hold of hype. You're building a lasting community that's going to be around with you past when you turn partner. Like, a lot of, you're going to be partnered, and then it's just going to keep going. It's not going to just be like, all right, I'm partnered on Twitch, and then everyone.
And again, if that's what the Lord has for us, that's what we want to have. So.
Exactly, dude. That's awesome. Well, man, thank you so much for joining us for episode 35 of the Destiny Nerds podcast. We're really chugging along here. Anyways, I'm Bearded Luke. I will be streaming again this week on Twitch. This is going to be 4 weeks of me making content again. I've been putting out some YouTube shorts, just like the simplest stuff from like my streams, to be honest. I also have a couple YouTube videos in the works. One has to do with a PS2, which I think you'll think is really funny.
That's super awesome.
It's gonna be cool. Another one is like has to do with the desk. So I'm kind of like mixing my YouTube stuff is gonna be, and this is when I have time. I honestly don't have time to edit anything right now. I'm like currently in an 8 wedding backlog. So
crunch.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, after we get off this podcast, I'm staying up and finishing a wedding that's due tomorrow. So like there's which stinks, but it's okay. I'm happy to be alive. So I have some YouTube stuff I'm gonna keep working on, trying to get clips made, and I do this for a living, so there's absolutely no reason that I shouldn't be able to like be making content for the Bearded Luke stuff. It's just me being lazy and giving excuses.
That's all right, man.
Yeah,
you get there though.
Yeah, I'm trying to put stuff on TikTok and all that good stuff. But then I'm gonna be streaming Destiny again this week. I do really want to start getting, when FIFA 22 comes out, I think I'm gonna actually buy it this year and stream it when it comes out, because I love FIFA. I'm like a huge FIFA fan. I might do a full career on there. I have some ideas and some goals, and just trying to get back into the swing of things, to be honest with you. Just like trying to get used to streaming again, and then start getting into like changing stuff up, which I need to talk to you about, because I have lots of questions. And because you have a great brain for
awesome,
that kind of
man.
Stuff.
Well, you can pick my brain anytime.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. You're amazing. You're awesome. And what we're gonna do is, are you live right now?
I'm live. I'm literally, my countdown's about to end.
We are going to raid Aki right now, live on the podcast. If you're listening to this, go right now. If you're listening to this podcast later, go right now to twitch.tv/AkiandPeach. Follow this man. Watch his content. We love all of you. We will see you all next week. Adios.
Later, bro.